for having me today. Thank y'all for being here. This is definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone. So, I started Kate McLeod Studio 9 years ago this week, actually. But really, my journey started from an early age, and I'm going to kind of share my story and how I got to where I am today. So, at a really early age, I've been inspired by all things creative, from changing outfits, putting outfits together, rearranging my room so many different times. Here's me as a kid. The only photo my mom could find of me being creative as a child when I asked her to send me something. But ever since I was a little girl, creative expression was always something that was very important to me. And then moving on to high school, I fell in love with painting. I started studying art and color theory, and really just became passionate about like how colors work together and how they move on a canvas, and blending and all of that. And I went on to study art at UNT, and I changed my major so many different times because I wanted to do it all. I majored in art history, art education, and drawing and painting. And then finally, I graduated with interdisciplinary art and design. And not really knowing what I wanted to do with that, I knew I wanted to do something creative. I moved to Colorado, and I would then meet my husband. I don't know, there he is, who has been so supportive through all of this, always. And I did some odd jobs there. And then we moved back to Dallas, got married, and I started working for a jewelry design company, not really thinking I would ever be in that field. And like anything, I've found that getting out of my comfort zone, like giving this talk today, it's really pushed me to kind of find my passion and to really grow. So with jewelry design, I learned so many skills that would then help me become a business owner, and like leadership, communication, just working together as a team, all these like valuable things that I would carry on as a business owner. And then of course just design and learning those new ways of design, and new skills. So like halfway into that journey, I worked there for like 5 years. I was pregnant with our first child. My husband's cousin, who's in this photo to the left, asked me to do a floral design class. And just for fun, after work, I agreed to do it just as like another outlet, and fell in love with florals. We learned basic skills and some business ideas, but at the time it was really just for fun, learning a new skill. I've always believed trying different creative mediums is so important. As a creative, it can inspire you and inform each other, just like jewelry, painting, and florals. They've kind of all like gone hand in hand to help just across or using different creative disciplines, and they've helped inspire and helped me avoid burnout too. So after I took that class, I felt very inspired. I started doing flowers at home for friends. People would ask me to do like parties and stuff like that. It just kind of organically happened. I was still working in the jewelry field and doing that. I had our daughter when she was about 9 months old. I had a friend of a friend ask me to do their friend's wedding, and I agreed to do it and took that leap, not really having a business plan or knowing what I was doing, but I just had that passion of like design, and I loved doing that. It took me maybe like all night to design like 9 bouquets or something. So, which now it takes me like 10 minutes to make one. It's so fast. But I just remember through that, I look at these photos, and I started my business between having both of my kids. But I look at these photos, I'm like, that was so hard, like juggling all of that. But at the same time, it was so rewarding. I just remember like thinking to myself, like, this is so much fun. I love this. It brings so much joy to my life, like working with a live product and getting to create, even though I was juggling all of this at the same time. So like I said, I started my business, like it kind of just happened after that organically. People slowly asked me, I'm making connections, asking to do weddings. And this right photo, is at home. And the left one was at our first studio, small studio on Jefferson. But motherhood really has deeply shaped my business values. It's taught me to be patient, adaptable, and intuitive. And I've really had to learn like how to juggle both my passion and my family. But it's really learned to coexist together, and I feel like they're able to thrive together. And now, like, my kids are seeing me do something I love, and that's so important to me, and I think inspiring to them, and I think they're proud. And it's not easy, but it's so rewarding. So let's see, here's some early photos too. I feel like my business is really rooted in my family and in my community. My family is so important to me and this community of Oak Cliff. We've been here for 13 years, and we've really made our roots here. We've raised our kids here, and this is really where my business has grown and where we've started. And this community has been so encouraging and collaborative, and I think the relationships in my business have been so important, more so than like any transaction. I've had the pleasure of collaborating with a lot of different small businesses like Joy Macaroons and DLM and other stores and small businesses around Oak Cliff and beyond, as well as giving back to the community and having those opportunities and giving back to our schools. And then my relationships with like the wedding industry and building relationships with other vendors, venues, photographers, and planners, and just being open and being collaborative has been something I really value in my business journey. And this is a photo on the left of our new studio that we built out with I share a studio with my very good friend and studio mate. We've been sharing a studio for like 7 years, who's a photographer, also Kelsey Foster. And we built this studio with both of our businesses in mind, and this is it's amazing to see, like, we have where we've come. We have the cooler now and a place to house our flowers, and from starting at home to going to like a small space. Even though we had a space, we had to bring the air down. We had to work a lot differently than we do now, and it's just helped with the overall business and timeline of our work each week, and giving us more time and more opportunity to do more. And then my family, my kids. This was actually kind of an old photo, but. And then another big part of my business that I've learned over the years, something that's really helped me, is building a creative culture and a team. It's so important to me. I love my team. They're like family to me. And it's something I value, is to create a really fun environment, a place that they want to come and work and that they enjoy to be at. Working in the wedding industry can be so much pressure. And, someone's most important day. So when you think about it, it's a lot, and it's a lot of work, but we have fun, and I think that's so important to take that pressure out. We're working with something so beautiful, and so I really try to lead with that from wedding to wedding. And I love being able to teach and share my passion. And with my team, that's been something that's so important to me. I've had just people kind of come to me naturally, organically, like wanting to work together. And I think it's so important to create a supportive space and to be open to share your secrets and your passions and not hold those to yourself as a creative. And it's important to me to help people grow and to share those things. So this is something I've learned. Like, I did start by myself, and it was very hard looking back and being up all night. So like, this has been such a huge part of the journey, just really trusting and having people come on the team. And we've had hard times, of course. We went through COVID, and like all small businesses, that was a really tough time, but it taught so many things, like resilience and being flexible, and things I carry with me now throughout my journey today. So, okay. So like I said earlier, having different avenues in creativity, I think, is so important as a creative. And painting has always been kind of that most important thing in my life that I always go back to as for being creative, and it's something I'm super passionate about and love, and I try to hold on to. Of course, different seasons have allowed me to do it at different times, but I keep going back to it, and I hope to do it more. And I had the opportunity to do a little show this past December, but I feel like my painting is now kind of a reflection of my work in floral, and so they kind of go hand in hand now, and it really shows kind of the foundation of both and what I like hold on to artistically, with movement and color and texture and form. I think it's been really important to me to kind of have that like foundation of floral design and the same style, and carrying that through. And I think you can maybe see that through the painting as well, inspired by floral design. Let's see. Okay, and this is just like looking back. I'm just going to show you a few things. This was a wedding that we did back in like 2020, something I was kind of proud of, in the first feature, and Martha Stewart. And just really fun and kind of outside the box and colorful before like baby's breath kind of became a thing. And these are a few photos of weddings and collaborations that I was proud of. The first being a wedding, and the second, Kappa tablescapes we got to kind of design from the ground up. In the third photo, that arch actually fell like 15 minutes before the wedding started. But this is something also that I've really learned in my business. You know, like, you have to think on your feet. You have to be ready for anything that is thrown your way. And when that happened, it was like out-of-body experience. It was almost like doing surgery, but like we made it happen. And this photo was taken after it fell, and it came together, and it was amazing. So it was kind of a, you know, we have those hard things that happen too. And then that last photo is a photo shoot that we got to collaborate on. And here are two covers from magazines that we had our work featured in and on the cover. And then recently, last year and then again this year, we were asked to be a part of this installation at North Park, and got to kind of create from the ground up and partner with amazing creatives on it as well, called Floor to Be. So, yeah, thank you for being here. And I'll answer some questions now. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll open it up for questions. I have a question.
Okay.
I'm going to take my spot on the floor. So I'm curious about the transition when you move from like doing favors for friends to starting a business.
Yeah.
What are some boundaries? Did you find it difficult to like set boundaries and be like, I'm not going to do your wedding for free, or things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was a learning process. I'm like recovering like people pleaser too, and I love helping people, and obviously, I love what I do, but creating those boundaries and figuring out, okay, well, what can I do to help you? Because I mean, there have been people, even like I did my brother's wedding this like couple years ago, and like we'll like gift a bouquet, or I'll find ways that we can like kind of help in a way where I still can like gift something, but obviously we do have a business, and I think people understand that now too, more so. Yeah, I don't know if I answered the question.
Any other questions? Let's go.
When you moved from your home to the studio, how did that affect your business? You mentioned something about that earlier, kind of like it gave you a little more space.
Yes.
Obviously, but did you notice your business change too?
Yes, and I probably didn't mention this. I don't know why. I used to do a lot of workshops and stuff, so it allowed me to do more of that, and probably more so my old space. I'd love to do more of them now if I ever have some more time, because that's something I really love and I'm passionate about. But it did allow for more opportunities, I think, and probably from that space to the space I have now. I kind of mentioned like now having a cooler, we can like start our work like so much earlier in the week, and it just makes it makes so much more sense time-wise. We have our time back. We're finishing at like 3-4 p.m. some days. It's just like spreading out our days a little bit more because we have the ability to like store things and work a little bit earlier to have the space and everything. So that's
Yeah, I'd love to know more about your creative process in terms of you meet a new client, what gives you like the spark to say, this is what I'm going to do? Where do you go for inspiration?
For sure. Well, usually, like a bride, for instance, that most of our clients are like brides, mother of brides, and people getting married. So they come to me, and sometimes they come to me with inspiration. But really, like that dream client and the ones that we love to work with, bring that inspiration, and they trust us to really run with it. So I take that, and then I produce something. I show them, build out a proposal, like an inspiration page, and show them color and different ideas, and from my own floral knowledge, things that work well together and things I think are interesting. And then really we run with that, and we order flowers, and then we get them in and design them. And I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm curious how you knew it was like time to hire someone to join you, and like how you found that right person.
Yes. Well, I think it's challenging to take that leap. I think I realized like I can't do this by myself. And I feel like as a whole, I always refer to my team or my business as we, because it's not just me. And it's been like that for a while. I think it was kind of early on. And maybe when we joined that next studio, I was like, I can't like process all these flowers. I can't do all of this. Trying to think about what I really love to do. And I'm still learning because it's hard to let go of all of those things, starting your thing. And it's like a baby, it's like, it's hard to take that leap. But I think you just have to kind of go with your intuition and gut and trust, and trial and error too, I don't know. Okay.
Let's give it up for
All right.
Kate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so